Walk onto almost any used car lot in America, and you'll find them sitting there like they missed the last flight out of Detroit. Luxury SUVs, low prices, barely any attention, and enough depreciation to make the original owner question every financial decision they've made since 2015. Meanwhile, dealerships are happily pointing buyers toward brand new SUVs with monthly payments that look more like a mortgage. But here's the part they don't want you to know. There are 3 older luxury SUVs that can make ridiculously good sense for seniors in 2026. They're comfortable, easy to live with, surprisingly cheap to maintain, and built with the kind of engineering that makes some newer luxury vehicles look like complicated science experiments with cup holders. And stay with me, because the first SUV on this list is the one I'd trust to hand the keys to my own family without spending the next 10 years waiting for a repair bill to arrive like an unwanted Christmas card. But the last SUV we'll cover, that one might completely change what you think a cheap luxury SUV is supposed to be. This is the Car Geek, and today we're going hunting for 3 luxury SUVs that may be old enough to have a favorite gas station, but are still smart enough to embarrass some brand new vehicles. Number 3 is the Lexus GX 460, specifically the 2014 to 2016 models. And this thing is basically a luxury bunker with leather seats. It is not the cheapest SUV here, and at around 17 miles per gallon, it drinks gasoline like it has a corporate fuel card. But if your priorities are reliability, comfort, 4-wheel drive, and keeping the same vehicle for the next 10 or 15 years, this Lexus deserves your attention. A retired engineer once came into my shop driving a 2008 Mercedes GL 450. He had just received a repair estimate for roughly $4,200 for the air suspension. He asked me if he should fix it. I told him, sell it. He asked what I would buy instead. I told him, Lexus GX 460. 2 weeks later, he showed up with a 2014 GX 460, paying about $24,500 for it with 91,000 miles. Years later, that SUV had reached around 168,000 miles with only normal wear items like brakes, tires, a battery, and a wheel bearing. That is exactly why I like this vehicle. Under the hood is Toyota's 4.6-liter naturally aspirated V8, producing around 301 horsepower and 329 pound-feet of torque. No turbocharger, no tiny engine being squeezed like a lemon at a state fair. Just a big V8 doing its job. It is paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission and full-time 4-wheel drive with a torsion center differential. For someone who lives where winter turns the road into a skating rink, that is a big advantage. You don't need to scroll through 17 driving modes before leaving the driveway. Put it in drive and go. The GX is also surprisingly comfortable for older drivers. The side steps make getting inside easier. The doors open wide and the seats provide plenty of adjustment. You can sit down first and swing your legs inside instead of folding yourself into the vehicle like a camping chair. And the cabin is quiet. Very quiet. The best part is that the GX can feel expensive without constantly reminding you that it is expensive. A clean 2014 to 2016 GX 460 with fewer than 100,000 miles can still cost around $24,000 to $30,000, depending on condition and location. That is more than some competing luxury SUVs, but there is a reason for it. People know these things last. Now, before buying one, check 3 things. First, inspect the rear air suspension for leaks or uneven ride height. Second, make sure the side-hinged rear door opens and closes properly. Third, inspect underneath the vehicle for off-road abuse, because yes, the GX can go off-road. And that is also the problem. Some owners looked at this luxury SUV and thought, you know what would make this better? Rocks. Check the suspension, frame, differentials, and underbody carefully. Also check the service history. A well-maintained GX with 100,000 miles can be a fantastic purchase. A neglected one with 70,000 miles can become your new full-time hobby. And remember the fuel economy, around 17 miles per gallon combined. If you drive 60 miles every day, your local gas station may eventually invite you to Thanksgiving dinner. But if you want a comfortable, durable luxury SUV with real 4-wheel drive hardware, towing ability, and the potential to stay in your family for 15 years, the GX 460 is one of the strongest choices you can make. And that is only number 3, because the next SUV costs less, is easier to live with, and has a reputation for reliability that makes some luxury car mechanics very nervous. If the GX already sounds good, wait until you see what comes next. Number 2 is the Acura RDX, specifically the second-generation models from 2013 to 2018. This is the SUV that gets ignored because Acura somehow managed to make an excellent luxury vehicle and then market it like they were embarrassed about it. And honestly, that might be exactly why you can find one at such a good price. I remember a retired school teacher who came into my shop at 71 years old. She had just had knee surgery, and getting in and out of her Subaru Forester had become a daily argument between her knees and gravity. Her daughter wanted to buy her a newer Honda CR-V, but their budget was around $16,000. I found them a 2016 Acura RDX with about 64,000 miles for roughly $15,400. It had leather seats, heated seats, all-wheel drive, and plenty of room. 6 months later, she came back for an oil change and told me getting into the RDX no longer bothered her knee. That is the kind of luxury feature you won't find on a brochure. Under the hood is a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6, making around 279 horsepower. No turbocharger waiting for its retirement fund. It uses port injection and is paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission. That combination is a big reason I like the RDX as a used vehicle. The engine comes from the same General Honda family used in vehicles like the Pilot and Odyssey, which have earned a reputation for surviving serious mileage when properly maintained. And because this RDX uses a traditional automatic instead of a CVT, some buyers may find the drivetrain more familiar and straightforward. For older drivers, the RDX has another major advantage. It is easy to get into. The seating position is roughly 23 inches off the ground, which is a very comfortable middle ground. You're not climbing into the SUV like you're boarding a cruise ship, and you're not dropping into it like you're entering a basement apartment. You just sit down. The doors open wide, visibility is good, and the cabin is easy to see out of. For someone with stiff knees, hips, or a bad back, those little things can matter more than having 12 different drive modes you'll never touch. Prices are another reason this Acura is interesting. A 2016 RDX with fewer than 80,000 miles can often land around $14,000 to $17,000 depending on trim, condition, and location. Now compare that with an equivalent BMW X3 from the same era. The BMW might look more expensive and prestigious, but ownership can also come with a few surprises. The RDX is the kind of SUV where your biggest automotive drama might be deciding which oil change place has the shortest line. Before buying one, check the power liftgate. Listen carefully to the engine once it is fully warmed up, and inspect the rear differential fluid on all-wheel drive models. If the differential fluid looks like coffee that has been sitting in a mechanic's break room since Tuesday, service it immediately. And don't skip the maintenance records. A reliable vehicle still needs maintenance. It's a Honda underneath is not a magic spell. Oil does not change itself, fluids do not refill themselves, and brakes unfortunately refuse to live forever. The RDX also gets roughly 20 miles per gallon combined, depending on configuration and driving conditions. It is not a Prius, but you're buying a luxury SUV, not entering the fuel economy Olympics. So who should buy one? A senior who wants luxury, comfort, easy entry, good visibility, respectable reliability, and a purchase price that doesn't require calling the bank for emotional support. And remember, this is only number 2, because the final SUV is even more interesting. It is the one I would recommend to the person who says, I don't want the fanciest vehicle, I just want something I can buy today and still trust 10 years from now. And when you see what it is, you might understand why the best luxury SUV on this list isn't the biggest, the fastest, or the most expensive. It is simply the one that knows how to stay out of the repair shop. And that, my friends, is a luxury feature worth more than a panoramic sunroof. Number 1 is the Lexus RX 350, specifically the third-generation models from 2010 to 2015. And if you are looking for a luxury SUV that you can buy today and keep until you decide you are done driving, this is the one I would put at the top of the list. I have seen plenty of luxury SUVs come through a shop over the years. Some arrive because they need an oil change. Others arrive because the owner has just received a repair estimate large enough to require a deep breath and a glass of water. The RX 350 usually falls into the first category. One customer of mine bought a 2013 RX 350 back in 2016 with around 38,000 miles. She was 78 years old and had kept the SUV ever since. After 9 years of ownership, the vehicle had reached roughly 142,000 miles, and her total repair spending was only about $1,890. That included brakes, 2 batteries, and a window regulator. For a luxury SUV, that is the automotive equivalent of getting away with something. The reason starts with the engine. The RX 350 uses Toyota's 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6, producing around 270 horsepower and 248 pound-feet of torque. It is part of the 2GRFE engine family, which has been used across Toyota and Lexus vehicles for years. No turbocharger, no complicated performance trickery, just a proven V6 doing its job. It is paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission, and when properly maintained, this combination has developed an extremely strong reputation for high mileage. But reliability isn't the only reason the RX belongs at number 1. For seniors, the seating position is fantastic. The seat height is roughly 21 inches, giving you that sweet spot where you don't have to climb up and you don't have to drop down. You simply sit. The doors open wide, the sills are relatively low, visibility is good, and the steering wheel and seats offer plenty of adjustment. That might sound boring, and that's exactly the point. When you're 70 years old and your knees have started filing complaints with management, boring is wonderful. The RX also has a soft, comfortable ride. Lexus designed this generation around quiet cruising rather than aggressive cornering. It glides over rough pavement instead of treating every pothole like a personal challenge. Fuel economy is around 21 miles per gallon combined, depending on drivetrain and conditions. Again, not spectacular but respectable for a luxury SUV with a naturally aspirated V6. Now let's talk about price. A clean 2013 to 2015 RX 350 with relatively low mileage can often be found around $17,000 to $22,000, depending on mileage, trim, condition, and location. And this is where the RX becomes interesting, compared with something like an Audi Q5 from the same era. The Audi might offer impressive technology and sharper styling, but the Lexus is generally much easier to recommend for someone who wants to keep the vehicle long-term without turning every dashboard warning into a family meeting. Before buying an RX, check the dashboard carefully for cracking or deterioration, especially on earlier models. Listen for unusual noises from the power steering system and inspect the rear hatch struts because they can weaken with age. And here's one of my favorite used car tricks. Look at the driver's seat. If you find an RX with 100,000 miles, but the driver's seat barely looks worn, that can tell you something about how gently the vehicle was treated. Even better if the previous owner was the kind of person who kept every maintenance receipt in a folder organized by year. Those people are automotive gold. Of course, the RX isn't perfect. If you need to tow a heavy trailer, the GX 460 makes more sense. If you need 3 rows, look elsewhere. And if you want a sporty SUV that attacks corners like it has something to prove, this isn't your car. The RX drives more like a well-cushioned sofa. And for the right buyer, that's not an insult. That's the feature. So let's put the 3 SUVs into simple categories. The Acura RDX is the budget-friendly choice. It gives you luxury, comfort, good reliability, and an affordable entry price. The Lexus GX 460 is the tank. It is the choice for buyers who want a V8, serious 4-wheel drive hardware, towing capability, and the kind of durability that makes long-term ownership attractive. But the Lexus RX 350 is the gold standard for this particular audience. It combines comfort, easy entry, good visibility, strong reliability, reasonable fuel economy, and relatively manageable ownership costs in one package. You don't need a $60,000 SUV to get a comfortable luxury vehicle. You don't need a giant monthly payment, and you certainly don't need a European luxury badge just to make your mechanic remember your name. Buy carefully. Get a proper pre-purchase inspection, check the service history, and if you find a clean example of one of these 3, you may end up driving it for the next decade while your neighbors are still trying to figure out why their brand new SUV needs another software update. If this video helped you or someone in your family, leave a like and subscribe to the Car Geek. And send this video to that friend who keeps saying they need a brand new luxury SUV when what they really need is a reliable used one and a little financial common sense. Because the best luxury car isn't always the one with the biggest badge. Sometimes, it's the one that lets you drive home without wondering what it's going to cost you tomorrow.